Well, hey folks, real honestly with your Redlands, my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's World Tag League, the finals, and this was enjoyable. This was quite fun, especially those last three matches, so I am giving this a big thumbs up. This was a lot of fun. The 3.5 hours flew by. Big thank you as always, Jen, for sending me that. I really do appreciate it. There'll be two polls above my head, one for tonight's show, and one for World Tag League as a whole. Please let me know what you guys thought of the tournament. I will be perfectly honest, they could have done block action, maybe found a way to get two other teams and have just 8 teams in each block. But that aside, this was quite enjoyable. There were more good shows than there were average shows. So let's get right into it with Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, and Excalibur on commentary. They did great. Hopefully they can team up, all three can team up again in the future. And we got a lot of Wrestle Kingdom hype, a lot of build to some particular matches. And we start off with a lot of multi-man matches. This pretty much is a way to have like the teams that weren't in contention for the World Tag League Finals to get a spot on this card, which was certainly fine. We had Yuji Nagata, Nakanishi, Kojima, and Tenzan versus Makabe, Hanare, Shota, and Ayato. This was fine. It was an enjoyable opener. Makabe's team did target Nakanishi at first. Shota did get tagged in after hitting some moves, did get focused on for a while. Makabe got tagged. Kojima, of course, super over, hitting those chops and just being massively over. And there were some good exchanges at the end, but a big lariat from Kojima pins Ayato for the 1-2-3. And this was a fun opener. Certainly not great, nothing to write home about, but an enjoyable opener as you would expect. It hyped up the crowd, got the crowd, really into the action. Then we move right along with Beretta and Chucky T, Jeff Cobb, and Michael Elgin versus KES, Suzuki, and Iizuka. And, well, gee, I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, look, the stuff starts right outside, and Suzuki is targeting Chucky T immediately because only Suzuki can be the one unhinged person in a match that's not named Iizuka. And Suzuki just attacking Chucky T, beating him up, and this kind of stuff, which I think kind of led to Chucky T's actions a little bit later. It was outside quickly. You had some nice Elgin and exchanges between Elgin and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Some good power exchanges there. Cobb just tossing Archer, who is not a small man, height-wise or weight-wise, by the way. Just tossing him with such ease. Cobb's super strong individual. Beretta does get tagged. He had some good moves, but Chucky T ends up bringing in some chairs and he uses them Suzuki-gun team members. So that ends up being a DQ. So a DQ win for Suzuki-gun members, which is a little bit unusual because sometimes they'll take a DQ loss just to inflict pain. But Chucky T's like, I'm going to turn the tables on them. I'm not exactly sure what this means for the best friends. I'm not sure if Chucky T and Beretta are going to end up turning heel or what happens. I think they're a really good team, but it seems a bit odd. Maybe Chucky's going to be the mole. There's a lot of indication about who the mole in Chaos could be that Jay White has talked about. So this was a fun match, and then we move right on to Tomohiro Ishii and Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo versus Zack Sabre Jr., Kanemaru, and El Desperado. And this is really just a hype. Ishii versus Sabre Jr., which I don't know if it's taking place at a Rev Pro event or if it's taking place at Wrestle Kingdom because Tomohiro Ishii is the current Rev Pro heavyweight champion. It wasn't on the official listing for the Wrestle Kingdom page, but I would imagine it is going to be announced very soon because Ishii versus Sabre Jr. have had some great matches this year and some great exchanges. No doubt for that title, it would be perfect to give, that title even more prominence, even though Rev Pro has put on some pretty good shows, what I've been able to see. These two would be able to tear the house down. Of course, Roppongi 3K versus Kanemaru and El Desperado versus Shingo and Bushi is already happening for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And yeah, like I said, Wrestle Kingdom hype. Ishii and Sabre Jr. is having some good exchanges. We got outside action already immediately because, of course, Suzuki-gun members, duh. It's going to go outside. Some really good tag work. In the end, you had Vertical Drop Brainbuster by Tomohiro Ishii for the 1-2-3, pins Kanemaru. And it was a fun match. It was quite enjoyable. Nothing great, but it was a nice little way to hype everybody up for Wrestle Kingdom, which is happening in just under a month, actually, at this point. It's hard to believe. I've been reviewing New Japan for almost a year. Been able to review it live for almost a year, and thank you guys for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. So, Hangman Page, Yujiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens. Gee, I wonder who's going to take the pin on this team. Versus Naito, Bushi, and Shingo. And yeah, Naito, hugely over. Shocking. I don't know why anybody would have guessed that maybe I was a Naito fan or an LIJ fan. It's hard not to cheer for that group. There were some good exchanges. Shingo versus Page is a feud that needs to happen sometime next year. I would be all over that. That would be fantastic. Whether it's for a championship, or maybe whether it happens in the G1, provided whatever happens with the Elite. We'll see what happens there. But I think Shingo being in G1 and Page being in G1 could lead to a really, really fun match. Granted, that's looking ahead, but still, moving on. Of course, we got the usual guy hits a move, then gets hit with the move, and everybody's like being hit with stuff. But a Destino on Chase Owens for the 1-2-3. Shocking. Chase Owens takes a pin in a tag team match. Still enjoyable, very fun. And then we get to Okada, Yano, and Kushida versus Jay White, Bad Luck Fale, and Taiji Ishimori, and mainly just hyping the two, Wrestle Kingdom matches: Okada, Jay White, and Ishimori and Kushida. And this was fun. It was enjoyable, but I'd seen variations of this. I mean, Yano being thrown in there because since him and Ishii were not in contention at for the tag league finals, there was no need for Yano and Ishii to team up. So we go outside. Big shock. Well, Okada's team had jumped the Bullet Club first, and Kushida got beat up for a bit. We did have Okada and White have some nice exchanges. Some near falls, a sloppy grenade by Bad Luck Fale, where, he picks him up and then hits him with a thumb or something like that. I think paying homage to Umaga or something like that. Even though other Tongan, Samoans, and other people have hit moves like that, I just think maybe it's paying homage to Umaga. I'm just guessing. I know Fale's done that move for a while, but anyway, Yano gets pinned for the 1-2-3. The BC members lay out Okada, and there we go. But however, Makabe runs down to stop all this, and Makabe is a former member of Chaos, so who knows? They may lose a member at Wrestle Kingdom, but Makabe could be walking back into the fold. I think that was really, really nice. We could get... I don't really know what's going to happen with a lot of the guys on this card. They'll probably all just be put in the Battle Royal in the pre-show if they have one of those again. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Makabe, because he's had a pretty decent year. He not a great year, but he's had such a lengthy career, and a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. At this point, his reputation speaks for himself. He's plenty over where he can do this kind of stuff, and it's all good. So we are 5 matches in. We're 5 matches in. Hard to believe already. Now we get to another multi-man match: Tanahashi, Juice, Finlay, and Taguchi, who's no longer teaming with ACH, because I believe ACH is going to be going to WWE, NXT soon, versus Omega, the Young Bucks, and Marty Scurll. Oh, look, Kenny Omega showed up. Just really, really briefly here, I know that Kenny's just doing what he's told. He went on the Jericho Cruise. He's done stuff. I'm not saying like he hasn't wrestled and he hasn't defended the title, but people are trying to compare Omega and Okada's title reigns or like the first few months, and that's really unfair because Okada was on more of the cards. Omega's been on some. I know Omega's been dealing with, I believe, a shin injury or a knee injury, so maybe he was given some time off to rest, and that's just as well. But it is nice to actually see, the champ, the guy with the big, big title, show up on a show. So, more Wrestle Kingdom hype with Omega and Tanahashi actually gaining them some good exchanges, some good stuff. Scurll and Taguchi having some good comedy. There was more comedy, some good, some elbow drops, continuous elbow drops. Some good tag work as you would expect with these teams, particularly the Elite, Scurll being there and being able to add quite a bit to it. But it was an indie taker that ended up pinning Taguchi for the 1-2-3. So shock of shocks, the Bucks get the win. The Bucks have also been doing a whole lot of stuff, not just being on this tour. They've been wrestling for Ring of Honor and wrestling on the Jericho Cruise. So it was what it was, and it was a fun match, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go with Omega and Tanahashi. I will be doing Wrestle Kingdom predictions when they announce most of the card, probably the whole card, so I'll probably do it either just before Christmas or just after Christmas, so stay tuned for that. It'll be the first prediction show I'm doing for a New Japan show, since, this is kind of a big damn deal, since Wrestle Kingdom 12 was better than WrestleMania 34 by a goddamn landslide, my opinion. Just saying. So now we get to the 3 big matches. We have Will Ospreay versus Taichi in a number 1 contenders match for the Never Openweight Championship. And this was actually supposed to be for the Never Openweight title back at Power Struggle, I believe. But unfortunately, Will Ospreay suffered an injury. I believe it was like muscle tear, intercostal, like muscle tear or whatever around his ribs. And And I've had rib damage before. Like, I had it from a car accident. Not exactly easy. I mean, I'm not comparing it to wrestling injuries, but I know how it is. It's difficult to breathe. So getting out and doing any athletic stuff like this, like Will Ospreay did, really, really tough. Tai Chi used the mic stand right away. No Miho, by the way, so that knocks us down like half a grade. Like, seriously, that was very disappointing. No doubt if Tai Chi has a singles match or any kind of match where he's in, a tag, that they will have him, that they will have Miho there, because please do. She has a lot to his act. Anyway, he uses the mic stand on Will's ribs, and that's pretty much the story that they tell here, that Will's ribs get beat down, beat down, beat down, beat down. I knew who was going to win this match. They did do a good job with some of the near falls. I knew, however, it was obvious Will was going to win. Tai Chi didn't need to get the victory. If Tai Chi had not been champion, they could have gone to a time limit draw. The problem is it was 60 minutes. There was no way these guys are going to wrestle for 60 minutes. But Will did hit some good dives, but he got attacked again. His ribs were focused on and just beaten on and beaten on, beaten on. Chair usage outside the ring. Again, you can literally do almost anything. You can almost cut your opponent's head off. If it's outside the ring, it won't be a DQ. I don't encourage people to do that, by the way. But Tai Chi really did have a good showing. Some good near falls, some good teasing of the Stormbreaker, where it's a double underhook onto the shoulders, and then Will hits a driver. Variation of a driver. It takes a lot of strength, though, and they kept telling the story of Will just not having to strengthen his ribs. But finally, he was able to hit the Stormbreaker for the 1-2-3, and he earns a never open weight championship shot. And of course, he's going to earn it at Wrestle Kingdom, because they're going to have Will Ospreay on a Wrestle Kingdom card, since he is actually back. And it's good to see him back, and I really hope that time off was able to help him, and that he was able to get as healthy as possible. I just hope that he gets a little bit older, he slows down his style a bit. But anyway, now we get to who will Will Ospreay face? Goto versus Ibushi for the Never Openweight Championship. And who do you think won? I mean, honestly. I mean, if you're watching this, you obviously want to know who won, but just take a guess. It was Ibushi. And of course it was Ibushi. And it needed to be Ibushi. Ibushi and Goto had a great match on August 1st in the G1 Climax tournament, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Ibushi had a great match with Goto. He had a great match with Ishii. And those matches are actually all my favorite New Japan matches of the year list. It's top 25. I will be probably doing that within the next couple days. I'll probably be filming it in 2 parts, since it's 25 matches and I kind of want to go detailed on some of this stuff. But yeah, there will be a couple matches from this show on there. Now, will there be some I leave off? Yes. But moving back to this show, it was really, really good. There was an apron spot, which is the hardest part of the ring. For the love of God, Ibushi, why do you hate your own neck so much? Ibushi's neck did get targeted, and that was the right call. It was a good way to get some heat on Goto, even though Goto is revered. Ibushi did hit a moonsault to the outside. I apologize, by the way, if I stumbled just slightly. I am a little bit tired, and I am looking off of my notes here. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning. Ishii did a nice moonsault outside. Beautiful moonsault. Great exchanges. Some very close near falls. I actually thought it was like, ooh, shit, Goto might actually retain. But I think it was obvious. We had a Kamagoe for the 1-2-3, and Ibushi is the new never openweight champion, and Will Ospreay challenges him for the title at Wrestle Kingdom. To the shock of absolutely no one. Even if you've never seen pro wrestling before, I don't think that it would have been much of a shock. Hey, that guy won a previous match and is suddenly feuding with this guy. He's challenging him for the title. If you listen to any of the commentary, you would have known that. But still, good match. It wasn't as good as their G1 match. I didn't expect it to be. I'm waffling back and forth between which 2 of the 3 matches to put, of the last 3 matches here to put on my favorite matches of the year list. Probably going to put Ospreay versus Tai Chi on there. I just thought it was a little bit better, but I'll think about it a little more. Anyway, Evil and Sonata versus Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for the World Tag League Finals. The trophies. Whoever wins gets a title shot, except for the fact the tag team champions are in this. So if the tag team champions win, then they can call their own shot. This was really fun. You had Jado use the cane right away. He used the cane a lot in this match. He did also get a magic killer at one point during this, so that was nice. Knocked the stupid bandana, knocked the headband off his face, or the hat off his head, but he still managed to have the bandana. Bandana must be like glued on there or something. Sonata did get beat up because God did dominate for a while. Guerrilla's Destiny, Tangaloa, by the way. Evil did get tagged. He got targeted. LIJ did get beat down for quite a bit. More Kane usage. A Tower of Doom spot where Tangaloa just throws all three guys, including his tag partner. But that was pretty cool. Sonata dives, does a dive outside on Jado, then on both of the God members. Nearly disastrous moonsault where I think he was trying to get into his skull end, Sonata was, but he flipped, and it's a good thing. I think he just caught the shoulder of Tama Tonga, so he didn't spill out on his head, but it could have been really, really bad. If you watch this match back, you'll see exactly what spot I'm talking about. I'm not blaming anybody for the botch. Thankfully, it wasn't much worse. Ref bump, of course, you had the ref bump, and that led to the Magic Killer on Jado that I said before. It looked like we were going to get a super bomb. That didn't happen. Looked like we were going to maybe get a God win. We did not. We got Darkness Falls by Evil and a moonsault. Great moonsault by Sonata for the 1, 2, 3. And Evil and Sonata win World Tag League once again. So they're going to face Tangaloa, and the Young Bucks come down during the promo that Evil and Sonata are cutting. They never got their contractually obligated rematch, which I almost screwed up. They went in on the action, so we're probably going to get another three-way tag title match, much like we have with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. So, okay, you got to have the Bucks on the card. I sort of get this. I wouldn't really want another Evil versus Guerrillas of Destiny match, since we just saw one in this tournament and just saw one in the finals. And the Young Bucks, whether I'm a big fan of the Young Bucks or not, it makes sense. They would add some money to it. They should be in it since they never got their contractually obligated rematch. So yeah, I totally 100% agree with that. I'm going to say this. Everything went right the way it should. I'm going to say B+. B+, because honestly, like there were a few matches that you could have taken or left. But by and large, this was really, really damn fun. Overall, I'm going to give the World Tag League tournament a B. I think the tournament was very fine. I think it was stretched out a little bit too far, but that is my personal opinion. So, yeah, we're on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. I will have reviews of the 2 Road to Tokyo Dome shows on the 14th and the 15th, and that's going to be very interesting. And I can't wait to do my predictions for Wrestle Kingdom because, my God, I am really, really excited. Wrestle Kingdom 13. And just going on into the future, it's going to be great to review New Japan, as long as I'm able to. But anyway, do you agree? Do you disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. It's been real honesty with John Ritlin, and I will see you soon.